Fresh from the showcase here at SwissWatchExpo, and today we're doing a Cartier watch. Cartier doesn't make a ton of different chronograph models, but when they do, boy, are they interesting. And this might be my favorite one yet, so let's check it out. You know, if I'm doing a video on a Cartier watch, I am more than likely doing it on the Rotonde, which is probably my favorite Cartier model that they have. Definitely their most fascinating one. To my knowledge, this is when Cartier really brings out the big guns horologically. They're both mostly known for their dress watches, if we're even talking about watches at all. They're primarily a jewelry company, but the Rotonde is definitely the watch that is where they really experiment. They have all of the crazy complications that you would expect from one of the more premier watchmakers like JLC, Patek, Audemars Piguet, and they're also going to fetch a price tag pretty similar to those watches as well. And this is just a great example of Cartier really flexing their muscle and sort of asserting themselves as a really top tier watchmaker. And it's with watches like this Rotonde that are going to really set the standard for them. Now, one thing that I think on most Rotonde watches that they have in common is there is some sort of complication there. Very rarely, or if ever, do they just exclusively tell time. They're almost always exclusively in precious metal. This one we have here is a beautiful 42 millimeter version. And while this has a very funky dial, the complication is actually pretty simple. This is just a chronograph. There is nothing really going on with this watch. There's no GMT function, no moon phase, nothing other than time and chronograph. But boy, the way they chose to display it on this date is absolutely fascinating. This is a completely circular sort of register here, two circular registers, both your 60-second hand as well as your 30-minute chronograph, or I'm sorry, this is your hour chronograph here, that sort of goes around the inner track. This is just a fantastic looking way to sort of tell time and to display this chronograph function here as well. And of course, if it's Cartier, textured dial, and the dial here is really, really beautiful. I'll start from the outside moving in. We do have a minute track around the outside, and then the dial itself is actually stepped down below. So there's a ton of depth here in this watch when you look at it. And so you could definitely tell the difference between the Arabic numbers here for the minute register, as well as the traditional Roman numerals that you will know from Cartier. We also do have the secret Cartier signature hidden at, oh dear, I saw it on the picture earlier. Yes, right here at the V on the 7. So you can always sort of, when you're looking closely, be able to check that Cartier signature there. The guilloche pattern is going to be limited to the very center of the dial. And then going out, we do have a lighter gray with a darker gunmetal gray. And then finally, the more traditional silvered pattern, which you'll expect from Cartier around the Arabic numerals as well. This is a super, super huge case as far as Cartier is concerned. At 42 millimeters, this is definitely still more of a dressier shape. Even with the chronograph pushers here, we do have straight lugs. So this is what I would consider to be a very large dress watch. And a pretty thick case here too, especially as far as Cartier is concerned. We do have obviously a round case shape here, but it is pretty rigid here on the side. Definitely not a smooth or a rounded case like a Ballon Bleu or anything like that. So this is a bit more of a traditional sort of dress type of classic chronograph. And again, it's definitely going to fetch a price tag that's going to be similar to one of the more esteemed brands in Swiss horology. This is a manual wind movement as well, and we do have this beautiful exhibition caseback displaying this movement here. A lot of great stuff to look at, which makes me wonder if the thickness of this case was an aesthetic choice. With the manual winding movement, you would think that the case might be a bit thinner, but I'm also not sure if also the depth in the dial, as well as just the fact that this is a circular subdial sort of pattern, necessitated such a larger case with the movement. I actually don't know that or not, but if you are looking for a modern size for a dress watch, this is a fantastic example. Beautiful high polish 18 karat rose gold. And that also goes for this incredible deployant strap here too. I absolutely love the pattern, and the action on this is incredible. If you're lucky enough to get to hold this watch on your hands, the chronograph action here, super smooth, and you could definitely tell this is one of the finest movements I've ever seen in a Cartier watch. This is obviously going to be one of, if not the most expensive Cartier timepiece that we have here at this time. You can expect nothing less from the Rotonde, but we have a ton of models, whether you're looking for something a little less complicated, something a little dressier, or maybe you're not even looking at a Cartier at all. But give us a call, check out our new arrivals. We're adding new stuff every day, and like and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so yet. We're dropping videos every week because we get new watches in here every day at SwissWatchExpo.com.